young child, I loved nothing more than Saturday morning cartoons. I would get up early and sit down in front of the TV with a big bowl of Kellogg's Pops, a sugary cereal I was only allowed to eat that one day per week. I loved the superhero cartoons, and out of all of them, my absolute favorite was She-Ra, Princess of Power, He-Man's twin sister. This badass caped heroine had it all. She led a group of freedom fighters at war with a tyrannical ruler. She lived in a castle made of crystals. She rode a unicorn. She-Ra was the epitome of every little girl's idol. She was strong, she was brave, and she embraced her femininity. Then I grew up. I stopped watching cartoons. I got busy being an adult, trying to figure out how to pay for being an adult. I quickly forgot how much She-Ra meant to me when I was a little girl. Up until a few years ago, though, when for the first time in my life, I kind of felt like I had the big things figured out. I had a good job, it paid well, I didn't stress about my bills anymore. So I started to actually have time to care about the things going on in the larger world around me. And you know what? I found out there are tons of She-Ras that live all around us. Modern day heroines that don't wear capes and they don't ride to work on unicorns. Fellow Toastmasters, today I'm going to tell you about 3 women you've likely never heard of, but they're making an incredible impact in this world, just the same way She-Ra did in her imaginary little world. The first is Lima Gaboe, a Liberian peace activist. She is responsible for leading a women's peace movement that resulted in helping end the Second Liberian Civil War. Through her efforts, it led to a free, non-corrupt presidential election in 2005, in which Ellen Sirleaf won. This made Liberia the first African nation to have a female president. In 2011, she received a Nobel Peace Prize for all of her efforts during that Civil War, and for also enabling the women's right to free vote in Liberia. The second is Razia Jam. According to the United Nations, there were 184 documented attacks on schools and hospitals in 2012 by terrorists in Afghanistan. Girls are thrown acid on and poisoned every single day by these terrorists because they will stop at nothing to ensure women remain uneducated in these areas. Despite these threats, Razia opens the doors to her Zabuli Education Center every school day. Today, 354 girls are receiving a free education based on donations to her nonprofit organization. And last, but certainly not least, is Irana Wasti. Irana is particularly special to me. See, when I started finding out about all these amazing women in the world and how they were giving back, I really started to question how much I was giving back, and it wasn't nearly enough. So I started talking to people at my work at GoDaddy, and I said, how can we do more? How can we leverage the global voice of this big company we work for? And then I came across Irana. She was fairly new to the organization. We were both in the same department, and I started onboarding her and training her and telling her about all the things that our company was doing every day and what her job would be like. And she started asking me questions like, do we get paid the same as the men around us? Are we promoted the same? Are we treated the same? And my answer to these questions were, I don't know. So we actually looked at each other and said, we should change that. As a result, Irana and I started GoDaddy's first special interest network called GoDaddy Women in Technology, GDWIT for short, in 2013. We hosted huge speaking events with amazing women, similar to the ones I've just spoken about. We had a large employee recruiting presence at Grace Hopper's annual celebration for women technologists. And most importantly, we advocated for the CEO of GoDaddy to publish the pay rates between men and women within the organization. And he did. It took him 2 years to do it, which means he probably had a little bit of salary cleanup to do to get everybody even, but that was the whole point of our efforts. Without Irana Wasti's passion, dedication, and intellect, I would have never been able to bring GDWIT to the success that it is now. Looking back and knowing what I know now, I truly wish these were the women that I was learning about and watching on TV every Saturday morning. Because I have to tell you, if I had seen these type of women, I wonder if I would have spoken louder sooner, acted on a broader scale when I was younger. So I challenge all of you that have young daughters, nieces, go find one of these leaders out in the world and just go share their story with that young woman. Because you never know, it's stories like these that make these women understand absolutely everything is possible with the proper determination. Because no matter how big or small, these are the young women that are capable of the next big change.